Unfortunately, I'm looking right into the sun, but on this episode of The Auto Archaeologist, I'm looking at a very rare C-body Mopar. And a lot of people are like, what's so rare about it? It's a C-body Mopar. Nobody wants them. This is a 426 Wedge car. And you're like, okay, that's cool. 4-speed from the factory. Oh yeah, it's also originally triple black. Take a look. This right here is a 1965 Plymouth Fury III. And this is the first year of the C-body in this lineup. Before this, the Fury was a B-body Mopar, and I'll show a picture. And you're like, okay, this is probably out of the C-bodies, this is one of the more least desirable body styles. Still, it's a two-door. It was someone's hot rod. You're like, okay, this thing is cool. When I was told by my friend Chris, he's like, you got to come see this thing. This thing is not the normal car. He's like, this thing is an original 426 street wedge car. I'm like, that is cool. I know of a few of those. He's like, it's also triple black originally. I'm like, ooh, that's even better. He's like, it's also a 4-speed. And I'm like, what? I've only seen one other one like that. And we had a MCACN. And real quick, I'll go over the exterior and then I'll go through each individual piece. But you can see here, it was a black car originally, and you can see it. I'll show you in a few spots. You can see some of the original black. But someone painted it purple at one point. I don't know if you can tell on the camera, it's purple. And then they painted it red last. And this was in the Rockford, Illinois area. It's been sitting for about 20 years, or at least we know it was sitting in the last location for 20 years. When the current owner was driving by, he saw the garage door open. And what he was told is the guy was getting a new garage door and this car was going to go to scrap. So he bought it, and he owns a tow truck company, and he hauled it back to his storage lot. You can see some of the cool stuff he has here. And now he wants to sell it because he wants to work on this COE here. But you can see the car is rusty but complete. And I'll show you the interior in a minute. We just opened the trunk, I think, for the first time. And it's got, the trim's all here on the back, all the chrome. You see just tons of vintage stuff. Mopar, ignition line, speakers, seat tracks, radios. This thing is cool. Unfortunately, you can also see, I don't know if you can see in the video, you can see through to the outside. But yeah, you can see, oh, here you can see, was it? Yeah. You can see the black trunk lid is original paint. And then this side, it's also pretty rusty, but not terrible. And yes, I will show the interior here in a second because that is something else. But this was a Fury 3, which was one of the higher trim levels of Fury. I don't think there was a Sport Fury in 66. I'll double check and put it in the comment. But so this is a real 426 Wedge 4-speed hot rod C-body. This thing is so cool. This is the original engine to this car. See, someone has hopped it up with chrome valve covers. Actually, I don't even know. This might actually be stock chrome valve covers for a 426 Wedge. I have not. I literally just saw the car for the first time about half an hour ago. So I have not done any research, but the main important thing is, I don't know if you can see right there, it says 426 with the Maltese cross and an X. I forget exactly what that means, but I will look it up and put it in some voiceover here in a minute. You can see the engine bay is also still factory black. And then here's the fender tag, which breaks it down as being a black car with everything being black. I'll do a full breakdown here at the end of the video. This thing is just so cool. Original from the factory, was it crayon marks? single pod master cylinder, which was normal on these cars. But in here, doesn't look like it's been messed with much. A few odds and ends. You can see there's no fan shroud, which I don't even know. It may have been factory that way. Carburetor, I think, is a later carb. I think they were slightly different, but I will double check on that. This thing is so neat. And then we'll move on to the interior next with the 4-speed. All right, and looking on the inside, like this was someone's hot rod. And they had these custom little Plymouth pillows made. It's got bucket seats out of, we're not sure what. They kind of look Mopar-ish, but I don't know. What is that? Really, that looks kind of GM-ish. But the real money shot is right here with the 3 pedals and the 4-speed. That's right. This is a real, true 4-speed C-body Mopar. Very rare. You see the previous owner's name, Ray, on the dash with an aftermarket radio. But they must have really liked this checkerboard, or they worked at a big boy, because this is through. It's on the back of the interior as well. And then you can see here, the VIN number on these aren't on the dash. They're on the, what is this? The door frame. And here you can see some of the old stickers for oil changes. Here. Unfortunately, I just discovered that I'm not sure what happened, but the original audio from this point forward just doesn't exist. I don't know if I had a cord that broke or whatnot. But at this point, I was basically just going over how clean the car really was. Yeah, there's some rust in the quarter panels, but we checked the floors. I'll show you some pictures here in a little bit. But it was definitely taken care of for a long time, being someone's hot rod. The interior was in pretty good shape. Yeah, the checkerboard carpet wasn't exactly, high class, but it's fine. It was someone's, fun car. The seats we pretty sure were GM seats. And after this, we go and we found paperwork in the glove box that is from the original owner, which I'll show you here in a second. But overall, the car is an extremely good project. Definitely worth saving, being such a rare and unique vehicle, being a 426 Wedge car and a 4-speed in a C body. And it had the original owner's manual and paperwork from the original owner, which was really neat. It had pay slips. It had where it was bought. It had the original owner, how much he paid for it. We didn't find a build sheet. We didn't pull it apart. There might be one above the glove box, or maybe behind the back seat. That's normally where Mopar stuff was. But that's an original pay slip. Maybe that was the title. I don't remember offhand. But yeah, it was really neat to go through this while we were there and see the history that this car had. Yeah, I mean, it wasn't perfect. It didn't have every shred of paperwork, but it had a lot of the important ones, like you'll see here. I believe this is maybe the original ownership. Yeah, there's um remember they had payment books? I believe that's what this was. It was really neat to check out. Absolutely. No, that was, what was that? That was pure oil. So it must have been like a check or a maintenance record. I remember that was a receipt for some work done on the car. That was really neat. It was just very fortunate that the current owner who rescued the car from going to the scrapyard got it complete. I mean, he legitimately just pulled up with his tow truck and took it away, and all this was in it. It's really mind blowing, though, that someone still in the modern era are there that there are people throwing out old cars like this. Like this car is over 50 years old now. It's desirable to someone, not even to try to save it. And you see it all the time. My friend Ryan, he rescued that 69 Camaro, well, now 10 years ago, but it was on its way to the scrapyard. Who who doesn't take 5 minutes to look up on YouTube or on Google what a car is worth? That's what blew me, and my friend Roger was here and the owner Denny, that there's still stuff in garages that the people just don't care. They just want it gone, which s- is mind blowing. But then again, now this car's been saved. Of course, when he bought it, he didn't know it was a 426 4-speed wedge car. When he got it, he just thought it was a big block. Someone could pull the engine and transmission out. But when he, actually looked up the numbers, he called and talked to my friend Chris, who's a Mopar guy, and said, "Hey, Chris, what is this car?" And that's when Chris brought me in. But Chris went through and documented it as well and discovered that it was a real 426 wedge car with a 4-speed. And this is when we went through the glove box. You can see the original black paint that was on the dash, but there wasn't really a lot. I think we found just some little tidbits. We found a another like payment stub from the original owner, or maybe the second owner. It was really interesting the way it worked out because my friend Chris, who introduced me to the owner Denny with this car, he actually worked with the previous owner of this car when he worked at a warehouse in the Rockford area. He had known him, and the guy knew that Chris was into muscle cars and all that and wanted him to paint his old car, which we are pretty sure was this car, ironically enough. But nothing ever came about of it. The previous owner never did anything with it, and it must have been in that garage ever since. Like I said, we found paperwork that shows roughly in the 90s we think it was sitting since. But even before that, you can see that the car had been off the road for a while. I don't think it had a update in registration past the 80s. But yeah, a lot of neat stuff. The old Plymouth Chrysler, they riveted on a little check sheet for stuff. I'm just glad that I had the opportunity to document such a rare and unique car because you are not going to see another one of these. They exist, but they're so few and so, especially when this one's done and restored, it's going to be absolutely incredible to fully go through and check out because there ain't going to be another one out like it anywhere. These earlier Mopar fender tags were read a little bit differently than the later ones. So the number that's below A and B is the number 80, which to my knowledge signified the 426 Street Wedge. The 35 below DE means it's a 4-speed. The SO number, A14, yada yada, means it was built October 14th of 1964. The body number P32 means it was a Fury 3. The trim number TRM H5X means it had a black vinyl interior. The paint BB1W means it was a black paint car with a white stripe. And the 3 below the V means it had the backup lights. So it gives you an idea of what was there, but it's not as detailed as the later ones. The owner was actually really kind. He had a lifting mechanism on a little bobcat, so he got it off the ground for us so we could check underneath because we were really worried with the rust we saw in the outer body that the underneath would be in bad shape. But you can see here the underneath was actually really clean. Yeah, it's got some surface rust and some scaling, but overall, we were really surprised how nice it was. The torsion bar cross member was good. The floors were good. Other than the outside, I think you'd be in good shape. Car only had about 101,000 miles on it, so you can get sheet metal for these from multiple sources. So I would say it definitely is worth restoring and putting it back on the road because you will never see another one like this. Hey, automotive adventurers, I hope you enjoyed that video of the really weird 65 Fury 426 wedge car with a 4-speed. How ridiculous is that? And as of this video, it's still for sale, so let me know if you're interested. But this is after MCACN now. This was supposed to release the day after MCACN. I just wasn't awake enough for like 3 days to deal with that. So unfortunately, I missed a week of basically all content. But if you've been watching my socials, I've been posting consistently there. And the last 2 days, I've been dealing with snow. That's right. We had like 8 inches of snow here, 9 inches of snow, and I've been helping my mom out by getting. Oh yeah, let's see. That's our snowblower, and it's been a great workhorse. We haven't used it in like 5 years, but like I keep it going. Unfortunately, if you can't see right there, the primer button broke off last night. So I got one full run with it, and then I went to go try it again, and it broke off. So no more snowblower until I get a new button, which should be here on like Tuesday after all the snow, of course. So I've been today. I've been here shoveling, fun stuff. But it's good to get a little bit of a workout in because after MCACN, I was really beat, and everyone knows it was a really rough few days. Not as in a bad day, like I did it willingly because MCACN is worth it, but it was definitely a very busy thing since I don't just do the barn find display. I also do like show setup. I do the maps, and this year we had a lot of problems with the floor, which wasn't our thing. It was it was the building thing. So I was extremely busy for long hours, and it kept me very busy. Yeah, but it turned out amazing. I'll post some pictures here. I got a whole bunch of little videos from MCACN, but I didn't get a full barn find video. There's a few good ones out there. Rocket Restoration's doing a whole bunch on the section. Ian Ashton, he's doing stuff. Go check them out. I'll put their information in the description below. But I hope you guys enjoyed the show. If you came and said hi, I sold every one of my shirts but two of the 5XLs. Thank you. That was a good test of selling T-shirts, and I might start an online store here shortly with them. We'll see. But I'm getting tired. I'm sweaty. I'm tired. So I'm going to go and get myself a hot chocolate and edit this video. So I will nothing really going. Oh, wait, actually I shouldn't say that. Next weekend I'm going to St. Louis for the Clay and Sons Mopar Junkyard or Salvage Yard holiday party. So I'll be in St. Louis for like 4 or 5 days. After that, I have my birthday, and then after that, it's like Christmas. So not a lot going on, but I'll have some more content. Let me know what you think. Of course, new content drops every Monday, well, except for this last one, but whatever. And please share, like, and subscribe because subscriptions keep this place going. I appreciate it. I appreciate you. I hope you guys all had a good Thanksgiving, and I'll talk to you all soon. Stay safe.